this group, I swear.
I was on time, fuckface.
Whatever. Oh, no, it's Mark!
Yeah. It's been so long since we've done this. I'm wondering if I forgot how to do it or not, but I'm here.
Okay.
I lost
Chris.
I lost 20 pounds being sick the past 3 weeks. So
I'm so jealous.
What
disease did you get so that I can get it too and lose all that weight? Now,
I don't know how to pronounce it. I could call it PS.
Are you skinnier than your twin now?
That's
all we need to know.
100%.
Yeah. So now you can be like, I'm the badass.
This is not the way I want to lose weight. I'll be honest.
Of course not.
It's fucking awful. But yeah, now I'm not drinking beer because I'm on blood thinners probably for the rest of my life. So
oh my god.
Yeah. So don't worry. I don't really drink that much unless around Neil.
Yeah. So, like,
what's the new drug of choice?
Habit.
What's the new drug of choice that if you can't drink beer, like you're gonna just go straight to fentanyl or what?
Okay, I gotta tell you one thing. When I was in the hospital, I was like in extreme abdomen pain. They put a pickle on me and they instilled morphine. And that was like sucking God's dick. It was amazing.
Opium. Oh boy.
It was.
Oh my god.
It was.
Chris just admitted now he knows why everybody was like a heroin addict.
I know it was incredible. And then but they sent me,
Chris, don't tell people how incredible drugs.
I know, but now they send me home with Norco, which is hydrocodone or
my god.
So I don't take it. I've only taken it 4 times in the past 6 days.
Yeah. If listen to Dr. Radulich, only take it when you really need it.
You
just start taking it. Like, I gotta have a hangnail. You know.
Yeah. So
that's gonna be no good.
Yeah.
All right. So if guys remember, okay, so there's no news segment. We'll do a sponsor segment, then we'll just go right into the top 10. Then at number 5, you want to do the top 5 worst. No. Do we do honorable mentions after number 2?
Okay, yeah.
Because that's the honorable mentions right before the last one.
Okay, gotcha.
At number 5, we'll do top 5 worst.
Sounds good?
Sound good. I mean, we're kind of good at this. We know all how to do.
Let's fall in the ring, Big Daddy. I'm following you.
I have some of the posters downloaded so I can pop up if if it's the name of the movie, but if I don't have it, don't yell out, Neil, you're typing loud. What are you doing right now? I'm downloading the poster of the movie we're talking about.
Okay, we're all revealing our secrets. If you see me looking like this, it's because I'm also watching the Commanders-Eagles game, of which one leg of my 5-bet parlay is Saquon Barkley. I don't give a fuck how you actually pronounce his name. Has to rush more than 65 yards, which should be doable. He's at a minus 2,200 for that.
Just so you guys know, I actually will be paying attention to the Chiefs game today.
That's sweet.
You're actually going to go watch it after this?
Yeah, I'm going to watch it whenever I'm done with this.
Are you rooting for White Christ, Josh Allen, to finally defeat the evil empire of Patrick Mahomes?
Actually, I'm the Chiefs fan now because I live here.
I'm out.
See, that's the thing. It's just like Star Wars. As soon as the rebels started winning, they're like, everybody's like, I hate the rebels. I want to be part of the empire now. And it's like, dude, the Chiefs are not the empire. They're still the rebels. It's just you guys all turned on them.
They're the Rock. Die, Chiefs die.
But it's something that I can pay attention to. And I can sort of gauge the morale of my coworkers by knowing if the Chiefs won or not. So I can sort of emotionally prepare for that. Because one of the other things I have to do is also I have to go in about once or twice a week get my blood drawn, and
Mhm.
that sucks too. But I think,
Damn.
yeah.
All
It's-
right. Well, how much more can we bring this down? Let's see.
I'm
Uh,
1/5 of the way there of winning my bet. Artemi Panarin has his one assist that I needed him to get. So one leg down, 4 legs to go.
and Mark, and then I happened to be in LA when the whole town started.
I know, dude. Look at Tony.
I was there for like wrestling. I have like more pictures and stuff of stuff we did, but I just stopped posting.
I was waiting to say I have more pictures of
I was
stuff
like,
on fire.
no, we gotta leave. This
'Cause
is
this stuff's
like
gone,
the whole
too, yeah.
town, the whole city's on fire. We need to
Yeah,
go.
Come on, Neil. We gotta go.
I can't believe we literally went there on vacation the time the whole
I know,
like,
dude.
it was I mean, we're there 2 days before it all started, but it was like
Did you start the fucking fire, Neil?
Yeah.
No.
Smoke in.
No,
There was something
no,
in
no.
in
Yeah.
the giant California redwoods that haven't had water since the day since
Yeah.
Noah.
Sir, I just want you all to know, I do not throw my cigarette butts down on the ground. I am not a cigarette butt thrower. Yeah.
It's a show by Chris and Neil with all great movies. They are the real deal. We watch them all, so you don't have to. It's movies that don't suck and some that do.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of all ages, welcome to a new episode of Movies That Don't Suck and Some That Do. My name's Neil.
And I'm Chris.
And I'm Mark.
That's right, Mark's here today.
Yeah.
That's so creepy. So what other sound effects did you for the best of 2024?
I was so late, so I don't have any others. I'm sorry.
Oh my gosh. All right. Chris was dying this whole year.
Yeah.
And we didn't know it until recently.
Yeah.
But he's now on a new weight regimen where he lost like 75 pounds on the
I mean,
what? But anyway, today's
the heroin chic diet.
I know.
Anyway, guys, this is the best of the best of the best of the best, sir. Is that the best of the best of the best, sir?
Sir.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then also the worst. 5 worst.
Oh, the worst. Yes, of 2024. So we'll be going through movies like, I'm guessing Nosferatu will be out there somewhere.
Mhm.
I'm guessing we're gonna have to talk about like movies like The Crow somewhere at some point. I'm guessing at some point we got to talk about Terrifier 3. We're gonna be going like talking about the best and the worst of 2024.
Let me address this one point before this goes any further. So we did, because none of us were dying, weirdo. We did our top 10 5 worst and look ahead review at the beginning of the year like normal people on Damn You Hollywood. And so people are just like, well, I don't want to hear Mark talk today as awesome as he is because we've already heard his list. I will tell you, I've seen more movies from 2024 since then. My list is now different.
Ooh. And the thing is, we actually did an episode right before Chris died.
Yeah.
We did an episode right before Chris died to actually add movies into a top 10 list so people could have them, and the two of us could have them on our top 10 list.
Yeah.
And literally that one episode changed my top 10 list of exactly what was going to go on stuff. So, I mean, I don't even know where to start today. So, I guess the thing we could do.
Deets and sponsor, right?
Oh, shit. Yeah. Chris, tell everybody where they can get us at.
Find us on moviesdon'tsuck.net. We're on Facebook at facebook.com/Movies Don't Suck Podcast. We're on Boost Live, Movies Don't Suck Podcast. We're on Instagram, MTS Podcast. We're on Patreon, patreon.com/Movies Don't Suck. We're on bonfire.com/Movies Don't Suck. Some new. You'll find shirts like the one he was wearing. You can go also TeePublic at Blackwood Productions. You'll find other shirts, stuff Neil has made. Thank you, Neil. And anywhere you find podcasts, you can find Movies That Don't Suck and Some That Do. Neil, who are we talking about today?
Today we're going to talk about a place me and my wife went to the other day and had all kinds of fun. You know what kind of club I'm talking about. Yeah.
The Red Door, right?
Shuffles. Woo!
Yeah,
Board
yeah.
gaming store right here in Tulsa, Oklahoma. You
Nice.
can go there and play over 300 different games. Ooh, that came out blurry.
Yeah.
There we go. A bunch of different games. They have homemade cocktails and all the above. Food. If you can get pizza delivered right.
What a great place to go for a date.
Oh
I know,
yeah,
it's
dude, it's
awesome.
perfect.
This is the thing I love was remember the game Fireball back in the
Sure.
80s?
I remember the alcohol.
I remember Crossfire.
Okay. So there's this game called Fireball, and there's a
Useless
new
one
version.
and useless two.
This is the reason we went there was to play this game Fireball, where you have little guys.
Oh yeah, I
that
remember
go-
Fireball. Yeah.
Yeah. This is the new one. And
Uh-huh.
the thing is, they put us in one of these spots. Let me show you if I can find the table. This right here. They put us on one of these tables right here, the long
Yeah.
ones.
Yeah.
And so we're like all like got this huge 3D board. Like we're like, okay, we're boop, okay. Like but it was really good. It was a good time. So guys, if you're ever in Tulsa, you want to go play video game. They also got video games. They have a big
Yeah,
screen
sure.
you can play games on. But go to shufflestulsa.com. They donate a lot of money. They just donated a lot of money to American Red Cross for the Los Angeles fires as well. So also, if you go support Shuffles Tulsa, they support the Red Cross. Let's support people all together, support local, support each other. Now let's bash some movies.
Let's do it.
At
So who wants
That's
to
what
go
I'm here
first?
for.
first, yeah, that's the best of 2024. Woo!
Woo!
You don't even got a pause button or nothing, man.
I was trying, but man, like I said, I'm so
You-
fucked up.
man. Our producer is getting less money for this show today.
That's fine.
He only showed up half, so we're gonna pay half.
I'm pulling up my top 10 real quick. So.
All right, Chris, you know what? This is your thing. This is your baby. You start. Chris,
Okay,
what is your top 10?
Shit, hold on. You got a stall because I'm pulling it up right now.
Oh my God, Chris doesn't even know what his top 10 is.
As I don't, Neil, why don't you start out? How don't you do that?
When I started,
Okay, no, I'll start it all. You got your own website.
I'm the guest.
Oh, all right. You go first. Let's
Thank
hear it.
you. I'm a special princess.
All right, Mark, what is your number 10 for the 2024?
My number 10 is I saw the TV Glow. I will keep this brief as I want to be done before 6 o'clock. My list, as it always is a combination of what I enjoyed the most and what I thought were the best made movies, and some derivation therein. So I saw the TV Glow as number 10 because I think it's one of the best made movies of this year, and I enjoyed it more because my daughter, who I've talked about on here before, who is claiming asexual and aromantic, it was like her Avengers Endgame. She was just bouncing in her fucking seat. And while I can recognize the cinematic achievements that were made with this movie, I also got a lot of joy out of watching her enjoy the movie. It also fucked my son up, and I took a special care, joy as his father, of watching my son not be verbal as he tried to explain to me the season finale of The Pink Opaque, which I still have not seen because I was taking a shit and destroying a bathroom at the time.
I will say this is one of the most unique movies I've seen this year. I've never seen anything quite like I saw the TV Glow.
I was going to say there's another movie that kind of goes in the same vein as I saw the TV Glow, where it's so different, it's so wildly different than anything else I've ever seen. I couldn't not talk about it or include it on the list. It's number 10 because it's probably the one of all 10 I least enjoyed.
Oh,
but a well-made movie. But a well-made movie is still a well-made movie, and it's better than anything. It's better than almost anything in my honorable mentions.
Because it's like it's one of those movies, kind of like I'm only going to compare it to American Psycho because it's the only thing I can really think of where you don't know if it's reality or if it's like imagination or if it's and that's what I loved about I Saw the TV Glow was that factor of like it comes to a point where like you're like, is this real? Is this not real? Is this but it doesn't really matter because the story is so like just gratifying.
And not to be that guy, but let me speak for the as I am an ally of the LGBTQI community, specifically the trans community, and asexual community. Like everyone, I think everyone deserves to have their stories told. Whether you like them or not, I think is fine. It's also beyond the point. Everyone deserves to see some version of themselves up on screen, and I saw the TV Glow does that for a very small, very niche portion of our community, but still one that I think needs representation. So, I don't mind giving I Saw the TV Glow that extra special love.
Yeah, sure, absolutely with you. I remember the next day after I saw the TV Glow, I had my wife draw a triangle in the back of my neck and take a picture of it, and it was horrifying because of all the weird hair and stuff going on with it. But so that picture's lost to humanity. But I'm glad you brought up I Saw the TV Glow.
It's not on any of your guys' list, huh? Not on your top 10?
No, it's not actually, but it's a great movie. It was actually in my top, like when I went to cut movies off,
it was hard.
It was
so
in my,
fucking hard
like, it was in my 23. I had like 23 after going through our entire list, and it was in that 23.
Right.
Yeah, so it was hard. It was hard paring down the list this year. I had to make concessions, and so I'm ready for my 10 now.
Yeah, go, Chris.
And this is embarrassing for me because I didn't think that the end of you guys say this. Whenever 10's Wicked, it's the only movie I know. It's the only movie I've seen.
Okay, Alexis. Sorry, shut up.
So it's the only movie I've seen recently that felt actually giant. We've seen
one. God damn it! I keep continue. Sorry.
It's It was. I've seen the live production twice. Once insanely drunk and one stone cold sober. I enjoyed it more than that. To me, it was beautiful shot. It was about as perfect as a musical can get for me. I'm not a musical guy, so for me to say I enjoyed it, it said a lot. It was a big production. It seemed sincere, and it didn't seem as Disney-fied as it could have been, which is what I'm actually happy about. Even though Moana 2 beat this in the box office or something like that, I really enjoyed The Wicked. I think everything mostly about it worked, and that's
Robert and I had our complaints about it. I don't think it's perfect. I think Ariana Grande is fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Cynthia Erivo cannot sing and act at the same time. She can sing and she can act, not simultaneously. However, that being said, sorry, Saquon Barkley just ran for 60 yards. I have 5 yards left and I win that leg on my bet. Anyway, I will say this and then I'll concede the floor. This is Chris's time. I like Wicked just fine. I don't necessarily, I think for a lot of its physical stuff, its production design, a lot of the visual cinema elements, craft elements, I think were some of the best this year. I think it deserves those accolades. In terms of everything else, in terms of narrative, in terms of some of the other pieces, in terms of some of the performances, didn't even make my honorable mentions.
Oh,
so and one of the things about Ariana Grande is I couldn't have pulled her out of the lineup until I saw this movie. I didn't know.
I thought I couldn't tell her apart from Shakira. So.
All right. Well, on that note, mine is number 7. Wicked is on my number 7 on my top 10 list. So Wicked to me was 3 times better than what you liked it. So let's talk about it in my perspective. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I thought that was funny. Anyway. But yeah, I have to agree with Chris that this was. I love musicals, so I'm a huge musical guy. I grew up with Grease and Willy Wonka and Labyrinth and Purple Rain and Deep Blue Roy. Anyway,
just watched Purple Rain yesterday. We're reviewing it this Thursday for Black History Month.
So
that's God's honest truth.
Yeah.
I
believe you. But yeah, this is a movie was it was magical and it actually made me believe in the world of Oz again. It was not like some of the other ones that came out that was kind of like, oh, you're trying. Yay. I kind of feel the power of make believe again. Yeah.
A lot of the Oz stuff lacks whimsy.
Yeah.
And the fact that a movie can be so what's the word? Pissing
Whimsical?
so many people off because
Oh.
people are having so much fun, they're singing at it. like people are having fun and you're pissed about that?
I know,
I'm
it's
pretty sure
crazy.
we're all we're
It's
all coming back from
insane.
a pandemic and people need to laugh and have a good people forgot how to interact in the world anymore. I think that's the problem after everything.
Yeah.
But it was one of the I was smiling, I was crying. I wanted, the Witch of the North to die a lot. I was all for it. I was like, yes, this is exactly how
Neil
you
wanted to
feel.
throw Ariana Grande a blanket party.
All right. So let's see. My number 10 of the year is A Real Pain.
Oh, interesting.
And the reason
I mean, are you sure you'd watch this before we did this episode?
yes. So I watched it 2 other times afterwards. And I'm just really because my wife wanted to watch it, my mother-in-law wanted to watch it. So but it's just a movie that was just like, oh, Topher Gomez jumped in and said, "Sup, fuckers," just for us. I don't know if this is gonna get us taken off. Yeah. Okay.
No, it's fine. We'll be fine.
But anyway, but it was just like I watched it and it was like the main character Kieran McCulkin just really does call to me a lot. That's because most of the time I feel just like him, where people are like, "Oh, that's just Neil. He's crazy and loud in the corner. Fuck him. He's an asshole." Anyway, but
Neil, I was telling people that I knew you connect with Kieran Culkin's character a lot because you connect a lot with the misunderstood people.
No, also, yeah, and also it's like Jesse Eisenberg really reminds me of you when you get in a bad attitude and you riff on me all the no. But it really was the relationship between Jesse and Jason Eisenberg and Cole Culkin and the fact that their relationship between the main 2 characters really brought into the film. You don't even realize that the lady from Dirty Dancing is right there with them halfway through the movie, and you're like, oh my god, that's wow, she's been here the whole time. What the heck? That's so weird. But and it was just a great story. It really moved me, and it was an original story that you don't see that kind of reflection between 2 cousins or a family that's been torn apart by injustice in their life or whatever. It was a really good, well story, I believe.
Yeah. Mark, did you see it?
I haven't. I would have if it was nominated for a Best Picture, but it wasn't.
Okay.
So,
gosh,
and it's just one of those. I can't see every movie. Nobody can.
Yeah.
It's one of those that slip through the cracks.
I know. I'm catching up on movies now that we didn't watch. I just watched A Different Man.
I just watched Conclave over the weekend because we're talking about. So Oscar nominations did get announced this past Thursday, and it's different from the list that I had prepared. So I had to change one of my podcasts, which is why I didn't commit to creating art for it. So we were originally going to do Conclave, Blitz, and The Piano Lesson, and neither Blitz nor The Piano Lesson were nominated. But A Complete Unknown was, which I have seen already, and I'll now get to talk about at length. And The Brutalist, which I did go to the movies and sit through for all 4 fucking hours. And we will talk about that later. 3.5 hours with an intermission.
Oh my gosh!
But there's an intermission.
Hang on. We're going to talk about The Brutalist later. Wink.
Yeah,
I know. We'll get to it. We'll get to it.
So,
all right. So what's your number 9, Mark?
Yeah. What's your number 9?
Red One. This definitely leans heavily on the most enjoyed. I have a lot of progressive. I'm a professional social worker. I've worked in correctional institutions and with substance abuse people for the majority of my career. I have very progressive leanings, but at heart, I tend to be a very conservative, traditionalist person. And when movies have that element of joy and innocence and traditional mores to them, I tend to enjoy them more. And a lot can be said about
like this Red One,
that Red One, and we are. I'm going so far with this. And while I understand that Red One was overtly silly and it cost $1 zillion, and The Rock is an insane person for taking it off of Amazon and putting it into theaters and going, "Oh, Oppenheimer was IMAX. We should make this piece of shit IMAX." The Rock needs a Xanax and a crowbar to the head. But when you get at the heart of what
If you smell what Mark is cooking.
I heard you guys' review on it, and we did our review on it, and I'm going to double down on everything I said in our review. There was a lot of purity and innocence. I love the use of Christmas mythology in the movie. The Rock and Chris Evans are playing their characters very straight and to a plumb, as is Lucy Liu. Like, I love the fact that everyone took this really silly idea and played it completely straight. Like everyone thought they were in a Bourne movie. It's great. That to me is what makes this so good.
It was like everybody like took it. It's kind of like what Robin Williams always said back in the day to any actor: if you're going to go for it, go 110%.
Yeah.
Because if you go 110%, everybody else will believe what you believe.
Yeah, everyone committed as much as they could to every single part of this movie. When the worst things about the movie are the CGI, I'm not going to slam the movie. This isn't a list of the best looking movies. This is the best of the best. Again, most enjoyed and best made. This script was tight as shit. Yeah. It is all the way straight through. Everything flows. Not a lot of question about what's happening. It just looks bad in places, and I'm not going to throw the baby out with the bathwater. I have other friends who are CGI snobs that condemn movies because they look like garbage, and this one does. Don't get me wrong.
I like Yoked Santa. That's
yeah, dude. J.K. Simmons is my favorite Santa.
I mean,
ever
you got to be honest. You got to be honest about this movie too. It is the first movie where you're like, I believe Santa can get every house all night long, like every night, because of that little like scene of just JK
manning through the houses. Yeah,
that was like one of the best. I believe now that Santa can get every house in the entire globe just from that little skit.
Look, if this kind of condemns me in the eyes of people who like they can't take my opinions on film seriously, go fuck yourself. Me and my kids had the best time at Red One. I had a smile ear to ear, and outside of some of the visual stuff, every other element of what makes a movie is spot on.
Oh, believe me, we haven't even got halfway down the list. Let's see if they respect you. Let's see if they.
Oh no, the next one's going to.
You don't know what's coming up on my list.
My next movie's going to end this whole fucking podcast. People are going to be like, get him off the show.
Oh my gosh! All right, number 9 for you, Chris.
A Complete Unknown.
Okay, that is my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th. That made number 5 for me.
Yeah, what was it on your list?
Of course it's not on my top 10 list.
Okay.
Oh, wrong one.
No!
Gosh dang it! I can't see them. They're all thumbnails. All right, I'll get it another way. But anyway, it is on actually my honorable mentions. Okay. It was part of my honorable. It's number 5 of my honorable mentions because it was a great movie. And Chris, you go on it because you're the one that's just nominated for your number 9 spot.
So, one, I will say the acting, it's spot on. 5 minutes in, I forgot Timothée Chalamet. He was Bob Dylan, 100%. Like 5 minutes in, I'm a giant Dylan fan. One of the things that I really respected about this movie is they didn't take away the mythos from Bob Dylan. They didn't take away the mystique because there's always been sort of a mysterious character. They didn't really focus on making him a real person. They focused on what he did for pop music at that time. I enjoyed every single. Honestly, I thought the music in this was great. I thought everyone did their part. They made it authentically feel like the '60s to me. You know, never grew up in that time. Yeah,
you did.
Okay, I got you. But I read books and books from Bob Dylan. I had no issues with the way the monkey, the timeline, and some of the actions that were true were monkeyed with. I have no issues with that. It was what, 2.5 hours, and I was in it for every minute. I couldn't spend
another one ear to ear smile. Timothée Chalamet is one of the best young actors of our time.
It's so believable as an asshole. Yeah. I totally believe he's an asshole.
I wish we still had movie stars. We don't, but I wish we did. I wish we still had movie stars because Timothée Chalamet would be one of the young ones. He is outstanding. He really captured the essence of, like you said, of Bob Dylan. I love this story. I love the punk rock element of this story. Of,
Yeah, 100%. That's why I go to the Bob
Mhm.
Dylan in the first place. I was a listening punk rock kid growing up, and just hearing his story, and I was like, this is as punk as it gets.
Well,
100%.
being the man who lives in the city with the Bob Dylan Center,
Yeah.
Tulsa, Oklahoma,
Yeah.
go visit it anytime you
Yeah.
come to town, guys.
Yeah,
Right
that's
next to
good.
the Woody Guthrie Center.
Yeah.
Anyway,
They're both.
but anyway, this actually, because I always told people that Bob Dylan was the biggest asshole in music. Like he like no one has ever not declared that not being a thing. Like everybody has always stated Bob Dylan's one of the biggest assholes in music. But to show that he actually kind of has a human side,
Yeah.
I mean, he did pay for his kid growing up, so I
Yeah.
mean,
I said this.
he has to be not so much an asshole.
I said this previously, and I'll really make this brief, and then we can move on. I've said it a lot of times on the Metal Hammer of Doom, which for those that don't know, it's my album review podcast. Bands like Ministry, NoFX, a lot of these like punk rocky, anti-authority, anti-establishment, metal and punk bands, they act like their music is going to somehow create policy change.
Yeah.
Like they're going to shame our institutions of governing into making real change for people, and they're not.
Yeah.
And at some point, people get to that place of make music because you enjoy it, make music because you want to share it with the world. Don't make music because you think it's going to change the world.
Yeah,
If you
Bob
have-
Dylan knew that. He knew that.
He
Okay.
got to that place.
Yeah,
Over
yeah.
the course of the movie, he gets to that place. And then so he's like, I'm making music for myself to share it with the world because I have a song in my heart. I'm not down with this folk music's going to change the Vietnam War thing you people are doing.
Yeah.
And I love that about the movie.
Yeah.
That's why it's my number 5.
Yeah, art can enrich the world, but I don't think you can do that policy change. So
Yeah, I don't want a world without art, but can we please stop acting like NoFX is, fucking stick it in your eye is going to somehow end abortion? Stop it. Just could we stop with that?
Oh my gosh. We know that's not it. It's If You Really, Really Love Me by Steel Panther.
Yes, correct. Asian Hooker. Asian Hooker.
Asian
It's
Hooker.
going to solve inflation.
Yeah.
All right, so my number 9 for for this year is I don't know if it's on your guys' list anywhere, but it is Dune Part 2.
Yeah, it's my number.
My number 4.
It's my number 4 as well. So,
Four.
number 4.
By any means, it's at this top of the list because again, rewatchability, and it's like a 3-hour movie, so I can't really watch it over and over again. But it is one of the most beautiful movies of the entire world. It literally made no one ever. I thought as a kid, David Lynch freaking
Rest in peace, by the way.
Yeah, rest in peace, David Lynch. But David Lynch's Dune was what do I got? Patrick Stewart, like Sting, like that's Dune was it. And I read Dune as a kid and stuff like that. I never knew that somebody was going to be able to bring it and put it in a 2-part movie. Now, the last 2-part movie,
it's the most coherent presentation of Dune on the silver screen ever.
Yeah, 100%.
And the thing is, this is my thing, is like the last time we got like a part 2 from a book I really, really enjoyed. Part 2 really fucking sucked. And I don't know what that's about, but I'm sure it can be better. No, I'm just kidding. But
I don't understand it. What are you talking about?
But yeah, so like for this one to actually be the second part and be really good and actually have the same amount of momentum as the first one and just keep that story together, I can't wait for everything else. The show is good. The prophecy, like I'm like, man, I never knew Dune could be a universe. And I'm glad to add it to the universes that I'm already.
How was Dune Prophecy?
Watch.
You watched it?
I watched the first couple episodes, but I had to stop because my wife wants to watch it.
Yeah.
She hasn't watched Dune Part 2 yet. So
if you ever want to do a TV party with me on Dune Prophecy, let me know.
Okay.
So he did something great with Dune Part 2. It was just as spooky, I guess, because it is spooky. It makes no sense. I can't talk into how much I love the color saturation in this movie.
The monochromatic scene when they're on
Yeah.
Arrakis. I think it's not. I can't remember the planet where the bad guys are from.
Yeah.
It looks amazing when it goes black and white like that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
The sound
Yeah,
design, the
it's-
sound design in this, and with the I can't like the music and score for this is something else. It's also spooky and great. Everything about this works in creating a world for you to inhabit. It
And
feels
again, it's like Timothy Chalamet's world right now, because Timothy Chalamet was also in this film as well, and is like one of the best movies of the 2024. This was the year Timothy Chalamet and Glenn Powell. We all just need to accept it. That's what it was.
Yes, if we had movie stars, they would be it.
yeah, and I love doing part 2. Even more than 1. I love the 1, and it came out what, March, something
Yeah.
early like that. And
Yeah, March 1st.
yeah,
Right there on
and
the
I
poster.
was there. I was there opening night, and it was fucking crazy.
Yeah.
How it worked out.
My
How happy I
10-year-old
was.
son loved Dune Part
Yeah.
2. I think it's like one of his favorite movies of this year. And he begged me to take him to see Part 1 again because he was like, I was like 8 at the time, Dad. Let's go again. So if you don't raise your kids on the stuff you like, they won't like the things you like.
Yeah.
They'll like their new things. They'll like their things. And I was happy to have that experience with my son of getting him really into the Dune universe. So it's definitely one of the best made, one of the best looking. He's one of these guys. Him and like Chris Nolan, shut up. Just give them a fucking check and let them make whatever they want. They've earned it.
Talking about Chris Nolan, I'm just kidding.
I was like, I'm gonna get up and walk out of here.
All right, number 8 for you, big guy. Number 8, Mark. What is number 8 movie of 2024?
As a connoisseur of film, as a studious person, somebody who's educated in the annals of film theory, I can only tell you that one of the best made films of this year, of superior quality, is Hot Frosty. Yes, sir. Hot Frosty.
Shut up! How could I even predicted to even download that? All right. Hot Frosty.
Hot
God
Frosty.
damn it. Are you serious right now?
Has a fucking heart attack. So
Oh
take
my
everything.
God.
Take everything I said about Red One. And
We are not inviting him back.
I've worn out my welcome. I loved Hot Frosty. So I'm a cancer survivor. Two-time, baby, cancer survivor. Hot Frosty's a cancer allegory.
Wow.
Not even joking about
Yeah.
that. That is an actual thing in the movie.
Oh wow.
We've all watched movies of a magical creature comes into somebody's life, teaches them to live and love again, and begin their world anew. Oh, look, he's even got the poster.
Well, yeah.
So take out the nonsense. If you can kind of allow yourself to believe in Christmas magic, allow yourself to get away from, it's a hot hunky guy and and a pretty girl
Oh
and
my God.
kind of a
Okay.
hallmarky movie. It is both of those things. It's a cancer allegory and it's a story about a magical entity that comes into this woman's world and teaches her how to live and love again. It's perfect. The only problem I have with it, and the only reason why it's an 8, not and not higher, is Craig Robinson's annoying. But it's like they just don't know what to do with the guy.
There's someone else. It wasn't just Craig Robinson. Was that the one where she saw Lindsay Lohan on the TV and she was
Yes.
like,
Yeah.
I knew her in high school.
Yeah, so we had an incidental Mean Girls reunion. I
Oh
won't
my
take up too much
gosh.
time with this because we have so many other movies to talk about. But I love Hot Frosty. Some of it made me cry at the end.
Hot
I had
Frosty.
one minor complaint about Craig Robinson, but the rest of it completely perfect. Look, I understand
My
the big old-
family is not going to believe me when I tell them that the guy from Florida said that fucking Hot Frosty was his number
Look,
8.
I don't
pick.
watch these movies, so I can't speak to them. And then I sat down and I watched one, and I'm like, oh my god, it's amazing. Allow yourself, allow
Hallmark
joy.
movie.
Allow
Hot
yourself
Frosty.
allow yourself to receive joy, people. Give
It
things
took
a
a
chance.
snowman to melt her
Yeah.
heart.
Goddamn right.
I meant to watch. Neil, I meant to watch it, but I was also that was while I was riding on the couch in pain, so I didn't get a chance to watch it.
Did you? What do you think?
No,
of it?
I watched it. I watched that one. It was what was the other one? Merry Gentlemen or something like that, where they had,
Merry
like,
Gentlemen. Yeah, that's the one
Yeah.
my son and I did a commentary track for.
Then we did like
On Christmas.
was what was the one? The one with Lindsay Lohan lost.
Oh, Our Little
her,
Secret. Yeah, I
yeah,
fucking all of those
yeah,
movies.
oh yeah. We watched, like, I was with my mother-in-law. It's just me, my wife,
Mhm.
my mother-in-law. We literally watched, and then father-in-law came home for Christmas, and we just added him to the bunch, and we just kept going through like Hallmark. Like,
Can you
I
dis-
wish I could name half of them. I
Can you
can't.
dispute me and honestly say I met Cameron? Cameron just.
Oh my gosh! Now we can see his house. Everybody,
Whoa.
go break in. Go
What's
break
going
in. Now you can
Is that
see
Lucky
it.
Charms I see or Captain Crunch?
Fruit Loops. You
Can-
get like a Fruit
Can you
Loops?
dispute me? Can you honestly say Hot Frosty's a objectively bad movie?
No, I thought it was really good. It was adorable.
go.
I mean, the one thing we all questioned was sex, because friction on ice and snow kind of makes things
Why does
melt and
everyone
makes
keep
things
bringing
smaller.
that up?
Because that's what they indicate in the movie,
So I
that they're
should
gonna
talk
go
to-
bang. They
I-
make it very obvious that that's what they're gonna go do.
So when back when Twilight was in theaters, I remember about that. My girlfriend at the time, we really wanted to see Twilight, and I tried to question how Edward's dick got hard because of him.
My God,
all
people ruin.
right. Let's stop
All right.
with the sex talk. All right, Chris, your number 8 movie of the year.
Nosferatu, easy. It's one of the best movies I've seen this year. It's everything I wanted it to be. I wasn't disappointed, and that was the scariest thing about Nosferatu is I was my biggest fear about it. It's beautifully shot. It's deliberately paced, not slowly paced. I mean, it was deliberate, and it's the color. It's everything about Nosferatu worked for me. I know some people have a problem with good.
How does it work good?
That works great.
Did you look at the vampire and go home and go, that's my vampire?
Okay, I don't want to talk too much about the vampire's appearance because not everyone's seen it. Some of the problem with it.
Is that your vampire? You go home and you're like, that's my vampire.
Yeah,
My vampire don't have diamonds.
diamonds. Neil, I know you had a little bit of a problem with it because you've seen the story before. I was able to.
I had such a big problem with it that you made this your number 8. Nosferatu is my number 4 movie pick of the year. It's Nosferatu is one of the most beautifully well done movies, and after rewatching it, and then I watched it again because my family members didn't get to go to the theater with me, so therefore we watched it again. I absolutely love it, and I think I'm going to get Nosferatu tattooed across my chest now, and I'm going to have like 2
Nosferatu.
Yeah, it's gonna be, it'll be like the branding, like from the Dan Brown books, where it goes backwards and forwards, like Illuminati. No. All right. Anyway, Nosferatu is like not only that, but to retell a story and actually make it good. Because remakes, reboots, sequels, and retellings are like literally what's it called? Where it's like it's the sequel, but it's not a sequel. Legacy sequels.
Prequel,
like all these is what's happening in Hollywood right now. The top 3 movies of the year were all sequels.
Yeah,
I mean, Inside Out 2, Deadpool, Wolverine, and Moana 2. We're literally the top 3 movies, all Disney too, by the way.
What comeback year?
Fucking evil empire. This was exactly.
Also, I've been listening to the soundtrack to this movie. Like, listen, this is like great, like music in the house soundtrack. Very wonderful to be like do the dishes to.
It was such ghastly imagery points. My mouth hung open literally. It was.
Well, that was for a different reason.
But I loved every single thing about this, and I can't give enough love for Willem Dafoe for being in it too. He was so good in this. That's crazy, man.
I liked it. Didn't make my list. It's a very well made movie. It's one of those where it's not really my thing. It's not going to make my top 10. And then I have like 87 fucking movies. If I start adding them like that, that would be my honorable mention. So I recognize it's good. I understand it brought joy to certain people's lives. Wasn't really my thing.
That's fair.
That's fair.
Yeah.
My number 8 movie of the year is Late Night with the Devil.
Okay, that's my number 1. That's my number one.
Is that really your number
Yeah.
one?
Yep.
Late Night with the Devil is a great movie. It was from Shudder. It was David, whose last name I can never be able to pronounce.
Chin.
If you don't know what it is, Mark, did you get a chance to see Late Night
I
with the Devil
still
this
have
year?
not seen. Alexis and Robert reviewed it. I still have not watched it.
So what it's about, it's a 1970s talk show that's basically trying to go toe-to-toe with Johnny Carson. And during the sweeps weeks or whatever. And so since it's Halloween time, he brings out like, a mind reader, a skeptic, and then a little girl is possessed by the devil, supposedly.
Yeah.
And it is just like, it's a great found footage. It's a movie that made the found footage,
Fresh again.
Because how many times can we just do, we put a recorder in our bedroom because we heard creaky noises at night thing,
So,
Yeah.
So one of the things I did this year, I do every year, is I fixated on a movie, and everyone I talked to about movies that year, the first thing I asked them was, "Have you seen this movie?" And this year, this movie is, "Have you seen Late Night with the Devil?" And because I know 5 people have seen it, I walked out of this thing fucking loving Late Night with the Devil, and I couldn't get enough of it with our native son David Dallas Mulchin from KCMO. I'm sure Neil, you knew that. It's one of the most creative things I've seen this year. It's one of the things where I'm out hung open. The last 15 minutes are fucking bonkers, and I love Late Night with the Devil. And I actually ordered a special edition that came with the VHS of it. Now I have a VCR
Nice.
player.
You went all out on that one.
So Late Night with the Devil was my number one. I cannot recommend this movie enough.
No, it is like, seriously, my wife forgot that she watched it with me. And so we like literally rewatched it just like a week or two ago. And I was just like, God, I love this movie so much. This is like, I could like, it's one of my things when I vote for movies like this is like rewatchability.
Yeah.
And I can watch Late Night with the Devil right after I watch Late Night with the Devil.
It's so good.
And still be like, yeah, I'm down. Let's hit repeat. Hit repeat on that DVD. Remember when we had DVDs? Sorry. Anyway, Mark, what is your number 7 pick for 2024?
Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F.
What? I should never ever try to guess any movies that I think you're gonna choose ever.
Just
but anyway,
you think you have the answers? I changed the question.
I changed the questions.
So
I came out here and talked about it. I gushed about Axel F. This was another one that, because of the father-daughter dynamic, resonated with me personally. I talked about on our review. I love that they understood that Eddie Murphy is 100 and didn't, marionette him around the set and throw him hither and yon. They understood he's an old guy, and they let him do fun stuff for an old guy. He drove a lot of cars and stuff. He wasn't throwing himself through a fucking window. He is supported by a great cast. Everyone gives good performance. The storyline more or less makes sense. The only thing I think I criticized about the movie was the story in and of itself is not great.
Mhm.
Like it's very much held up by performance, by the action set pieces, by the relationship dynamics, but by the themes. But the actual plot is dumb. So that's why it's where it is on my list and not higher.
But
absolutely, as far as legacy sequels go, one of the better ones.
Yeah, it definitely works for a legacy sequel. It's not like, it works for what it is, and Eddie Murphy is great in it.
Yeah, to be honest, some of these 80 versions, of course, I love the member berries. Where it comes back and it's like, oh, I gotta get to see the people I like. I mean, Dial for Destiny, Indiana Jones wasn't the best ever, but I mean, I still got to see Indiana Jones. I know, no, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was way worse, but anyway. But this is one of them that really it wasn't just member berries. I felt like they actually had a good story that they told, and it was fun to see anytime I get to see the guy who played Balky, Like, and
Lots of
that's an
show,
old
yeah, he's
perfect
great.
person. For anybody under the age of 40, Balky was a character
La,
from
la,
his
la,
TV
la,
show
la,
on
la.
on the show called Perfect Strangers. But yeah, it was one of my I'm 100. It's not in any of my list today, but it's still one of the good movies of 2024 because there are so many that are just fun. It's a movie you don't need to have a brain for, that you can just sit down, relax, have a good time. And that's what some cinema should be. Sometimes it's just let's turn off the brain and just have fun for 2 hours
Yeah.
of just good times and good laughs.
I was just seeing Eddie Murphy do a thing again that was fun.
Mhm.
It's just good to see.
I watched what I watched this over the weekend. Oh, I watched Dreamgirls. Again, I'm pairing it with The Wiz and
Yeah.
oh God, don't tell me. The Wiz. Shit. Hang on. Purple Rain. Jesus Christ, what is wrong with me?
Purple Rain.
And it's I think because people think, they think of Eddie Murphy and they think of some of the silly things he's done, or they only remember the bad things he's done, like, Pluto Nash. You forget how, like, the guy is one of the best actors of the last 40 years. He's so good.
He should get more.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, I would highly recommend if you don't like, if you go do a double feature in your house, you don't have to go anywhere. They're both on Netflix. Go watch. But My Name is Dolomite and Axel F. You'll have yourself a time.
Oh,
Yeah,
My Name is Dolomite. Oh, I love My Name is Dolomite. That's one of my favorite Eddie Murphy movies. That isn't from 1984. All right, Chris, what's your number 7 for the year?
Long Legs. So Long Legs was one of the movies that it crept up on me, as in, like, over time, movies sort of changed shape in my head. Long Legs I liked it a lot. Now I really like Long Legs. Also one of the movies that I was that it somehow doesn't make Osgood Perkins. Just the monkey came out and everyone's like, yeah, I'm gonna see that because Osgood Perkins made it. Long Legs was everything I wanted it to be. Nick Cage being crazy, great atmosphere. I know some people have a problem with the pacing or the ending. I thought the ending was perfect, and I remember when I got home from watching this movie, I spent a good hour and a half in the internet reading about it. That's how much I loved it.
I have to agree with Chris on this one because my number 6 pick is Long Legs.
Yeah,
Long Legs.
A lot of Chris's picks are the same as Robert Winfrey's picks.
Winfrey was on here, and
Long Legs to me is like literally seeing Nicolas Cage being able to act a character that I haven't seen already, and it's to be good. Is like the one thing that just blew it out of the water. The fact that he played the creepy, what was it, Ice Cream Man, or what did they call him? What was this? Gosh, I've only watched it twice this year, but it was at the beginning of the year. But it's like a Silence of the Lambs. They compared it to, and I'm not saying it's going to win the awards or anything like Silence of the Lambs did or anything like that, but that's what it is. It's like a new Silence of the Lambs. It's one of those creepy thrillers that it's a good popcorn movie if you got people that want to watch a good thriller that's going to scare you, going to get your blood going a little bit and make you think second thoughts of that. You don't think Nicolas Cage is as good looking as you thought he was, an unbearable weight of massive talent. You're going to have your heart's going to break a little bit. But it's okay to see him in that creepy form and that creepy laugh. I love it.
It's one of those movies that blurs the line between reality and fantasy, and I really enjoyed that about this movie. It revealed itself in such delicious ways, and so Long Legs is my number 7 of the year. And I tell everyone I know that hasn't seen it that likes horror films to watch Long Legs.
Yeah, it's one of my number 7 was Wicked. Oh, that's not Wicked. Gotta stop hitting the wrong posters. Wicked, which was we talked about earlier. So I mean, Wicked was a good movie. We all like musicals, and people are awesome. Mark, what's your number 6 of the
Already
year?
said it's Complete Unknown.
Oh, Complete Unknown. We talked about that.
What's a Complete Unknown? Did we talk about that?
Yeah, we did. We talked about it.
Oh yeah, it's my top 5 honorable mention. All right, yeah, Complete Unknown with Bob Dylan. Chris, what's your number 6 for the year?
Strange Darling.
What?
Strange Darling. I know you knew. We talked
Yeah, I
about
was
this.
like, I know you guys talked about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Go ahead.
So Strange Darling is a movie this year came out. We talked about this. You can't act like I forgot he's pulling the picture for Strange Darling. Now a lot of it was made about the cinematography. It's very good, but it's not in. But there was like Giovanni Ribisi did the cinematography, which is fine. Like it still looks good, but it's
Which one is this?
just Strange Darling. That's what it's called.
Okay, tell me the storyline, you jackass.
It's Strange Darling, motherfucker.
It's just Strange Darling.
It told 6 parts, but these parts are mixed up, so it reveals itself in a very different way than you expect.
Oh, okay, yes, no, okay. Wow, I must have passed right over that. No, I wouldn't have knocked anything I got left on here off, but yeah, that was a really good movie. Now I remember what you're talking about.
Cal man. I was sure this was gonna be your list because you give it such a there we go. Kyle Gallner and you see his producer Barbarian.
Chris, I typed everything out on like a spreadsheet and I didn't really put descriptions of the names. I just went through and was like, oh, I gotta put that movie.
We did a triple feature of Strange Darling, The Substance, and Cuckoo. And I had a lot of nice things to say about Cuckoo. It's going to be on my honorable mentions when we talk about that.
Yeah.
I had a lot. I gushed about The Substance. We will talk about that shortly.
Mhm.
I had almost nothing to say about Strange Darling. I was like, it's fine, I guess. I can see why, Chris. I told you you're my go-to guy, and I talk about you incessantly on the show. I'm always just like, people like Chris like it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So
you are now my avatar for film snob.
Yeah, when you asked me about Strange Darling, you asked if I liked it, and I loved it. And you're like, obviously.
Obviously, you like Strange Darling.
But Kyle Garner was in this. I don't think he should ever do a part without a mustache. So when
yes, I
was watching fucking Smile too, and he's where it's like it's the demon again. But it's. I love the way this was actually my wife's favorite movie this year. But I love the way this was revealed. I saw it in the Perfect Theater, but I saw it in Screenland Theater too, as it was right up there, and it affected me. I love this movie. Ed Begley Jr. did his part. Everyone, it's told in such a small and interesting way that I love to see it cut how it was really cut. But the way that the trick this movie picks is it just the way it's shown in the jumbled up way makes it more interesting than would it be. So Strange Darling 2024 is up there directed by JT Mulner. If you guys get a chance to watch it, it's still like what $6 to stream, but hopefully this comes free for everyone because it's fantastic.
All right, and that was your number 6 of the day. Mine was Long Legs. We already covered that. So at this point, guys, we
Top 5 worst.
We're now at the top 5 worst movies of your 2024. So, guest first, let's go, Mr. Mark Radlick. What is your top 5? Okay. Just go right through them.
Sure. Real quick, I had an honorable mention. Do I drop that one and just talk about the 5?
The honorable mentions we'll talk about at between 2 and 1.
Yes, sir. My bottom 5 are from 5 to 1, like 1 being the absolute worst piece of shit committed to film this year. Starting at number 5, we have Mufasa, The Lion King. It is everything wrong with modern movies.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I'm glad we originally Chris wanted to do this because he's a huge Lion King fan.
Fuck you, dude.
And he was like, we gotta go see this movie.
Yeah, I
think there's other movies we can do, bro.
Yeah, I watched Mark and Winfrey's review of this live, and I said I'd rather stick my dick in the meat grinder than go see Mufasa.
Yeah. We watched, so you don't have to. Madam Web was unintentionally the best comedy I saw this year. Unfortunately, for what it was intending to be, it was the worst.
Yeah.
Unfrosted made me hate Jerry Seinfeld. It is the most cynical...
Oh my gosh, I didn't even think about Unfrosted. Did we review that this year?
So Joker Folie à Deux is not on my list, but a lot of people, it's on theirs. And one of the reasons why you don't take a $200 million check from a major studio and and make a whining, crying, fucking art project out of it. And so I can't. But Unfrosted was kind of that. It was Jerry Seinfeld being mad about product biopics and deciding I'm going to do something about it. And he made Unfrosted.
And he made this wonderful movie.
It is not funny. It is garish. It is badly performed. And in terms of like, well, the mission statement is to mock product biopics. How about this? How about just don't watch them, asshole? And while you're at it, slam your dick. Fuck you, Jerry.
I'm the same way with anybody that ever like shits on any kind of movie empire. It's just like, yeah, cool, don't watch it. They obviously don't need your money.
Yeah.
Like you really didn't need to make your like editorial fucking comment about these.
We'll talk about passion project here in a second.
Yeah.
All right. What's next?
Sorry, Uglies. Ugh.
Yeah.
Uglies was so bad. I don't want to bang the girl who really likes it. Thought it was one of her favorite movies. Like it was like I'm gonna do this once and then I'm never speaking to you again. That's how much I hated Uglies.
Oh, it was so terrible.
It
God
really
damn.
was. Poor Jodie King, who is not an ugly girl, and it's just like I have squinty eyes. Like that's her. Do you have squinty? Oh my God, you trash raccoon. Like, whatever.
Let's be honest. She did a great job in the movie The Act, and then after that, everybody's like, "We'll book you for all these awesome movies because you were in The Act," and she signed every single one.
Yeah.
And because she's been in so many weird movies over the last like couple of years.
Yeah, she's a pretty girl, but I can see why she took Uglies. Like, why wouldn't you? You know, you're a working actress. But it's one of the worst. Robert and I did. To try to catch up with you guys, did the top 10 worst movies on streaming of the year back in, I think, October. And we spent a good long time talking about how bad Uglies was.
Yeah.
However, the absolute worst movie of the year is The Crow.
Yeah.
My God, you want to talk about a complete miss. Everything about this movie, the performances, the music, the cinematography, the editing. If you say one nice thing about The Crow or I Can't Have Sex Tonight, it's in focus. That's it. It is a garbage movie, and it's a blight on cinema.
Yeah.
Chris, your top 5 worst movies.
Number 5, Megalopolis is the worst time I've had the movie this year, 100%.
I haven't even seen it.
No.
It's
somewhere in here. There it is.
Yeah. So we're talking about like self-indulgent passion projects that people walked off while trying to make this movie. This is Megalopolis. I went to the special edition screening, which had a Q&A with Robert De Niro, Spike Lee, and Francis Ford Coppola. And I remember every time Francis Ford tried to say we're divided, Robert De Niro going there, "'Cause of Trump," and I laughed my ass off. And there was also actual acting in front of the screen with real people during this point. If the guy came out there with a tape recorder, put a spotlight on him, he's supposed to be a reporter, whatever. This movie is self-indulgent. It's a piece of shit. It's over long.
Tell us how you really feel. Tell us how you really feel.
I fucking hate it.
All right, what's your next ones? Come on.
Uglies. Talked about Uglies. Piece of shit. Imaginary. Blumhouse fucked up again. Like they just can't stop making shitty movies. Imaginary is one of them. It's an awful fucking movie. I hate Imaginary.
That was everyone's worst of the year.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's just I remember I was angry walking out of it. And I don't get angry that often. Number 2, The Crow we talked about. We can't talk about The Crow. And number 1 is tied between Madam Web and Craven. So it's good because I don't listen.
Tied between what?
Madam Web and Craven.
So Madam Web, and then your favorite of all time, Mr. Craven.
Yeah. So I love to see there's the biggest fucking disappointment, not disappointments, failures, because I had no expectations for them. Biggest fucking failures. I lumped them together and made them my number 1 because they are just terrible. And I can't wait till the shit's over. like I said, like I'm still flabbergasted by decisions they made in Madam Web. They made no sense to me. And Craven it's just a piece of shit movie. Both those movies suck. And that's not my top 5 worst. You know, what's your top 5?
You just like saying things suck. You don't.
They absolutely do.
You're just like they just fucking suck.
Yeah,
that's all they do. They fucking suck. All right, my number 1. I think I already accidentally put the poster up here like 6 times now. The Strangers, Chapter 1. Way to rewrite the exact same movie that Strangers was.
Oh, and
and
mine
give
is
us-
the
and it's
horror
supposed
of
to
it.
be yeah, and it's supposed to be chapter 1, but you give us no new information about
Yeah.
the bad guys whatsoever. So it's chapter 1, but you still gotta guess where they all come from.
Yeah.
You know, like that made no sense whatsoever. Chris just said, I think my number 4 spot. Yeah, Megapolis. What the fuck was this shit?
Yeah.
And why did I have to sit 2.5
Yeah,
hours?
it was
Like,
awful.
I understand what you're trying to go, but when your CGI looks worse than the CGI that was in Sky Kids Part 4,
Yeah.
you know, like, I mean, you're you know,
The last,
I know,
the last
I know
15 minutes of
you're-
Megalopolis was the most nonsensical shit I've seen. I'm
It
like,
just-
what the fuck is going on?
it didn't make sense. There's certain scenes that I'm just like, I don't understand what the hell you're even trying to tell me at this point in time. I'm gonna play on my phone.
Wait, it's a bad
like-
thing when the best thing about your movie is Shia LaBeouf. That is a bad thing.
I mean, anytime Shia LaBeouf says anything, I think it's a bad thing. But
Agreed.
After all that stuff he did,
Yeah.
the stuff that he did. Number 3, I know it was a bad movie. I put it on my worst just because I want to give it love and hate at the same time, and that is Joker. Because again, I hate the movie, but I love that he made it just to piss off everybody. So it's
Yeah.
a very punk rock movie, but it's still one of the worst movies I ever had to sit through. I mean, like, it was just so bad. Number 2 is, of course, Mrs. Madam Web. Madam Web was it just didn't look like anybody had a good time being there. I don't know what the fuck. Everybody's just like, yeah, let's make a Spider-Man movie. And nobody was excited after that.
Yeah.
Like, that was the most excited they got. I think they didn't have a coffee
So,
budget or
speaking
something. 'Cause
of-
everybody looked like they
Speaking
were.
of Adam Scott, who was in it for a good 30 seconds, you guys been watching The Substance? I know you guys been watching Severance.
I have not.
No.
Oh fuck, you
I-
guys gotta get on that.
I just got caught up on the Bear season 1.
Okay.
Because Chris, this is why. 1, I watch wrestling. That's 24 hours a week I have to give to wrestling. All right.
All right.
And then on top of that, I've learned Hogwarts Legacy is like Harry Potter Skyrim. And
Oh,
it is
We
it
won
is
her.
awesome.
We 100%, and it took over her life for a week and a half. We doesn't do things, like below 80%. She does something, she does all the time. So I think at the TV for like a week and a half when
Oh, dude, it's I got it on the Switch, so
Yeah.
I just
Yeah.
did little handheld. Anyway, and last but not least, just like the good old boy up there in the corner, Mark, my fucking movie I hate worse than anything in the entire world, because not only did you make a movie that made no sense, you said you read it from source materials, and that's what you got this movie from, which is bullshit, because I've read all the source materials 110 times, and that's the fucking Crow. Fuck you and everybody that had anything to do with this movie. That's the bottom line. All right.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. All right. Back to our top 10 list, everybody. Woo! Well, you don't have an applause. You don't have a John Cena. You don't have any sound effects whatsoever.
keep going. I'll find something.
I'll make this really easy for you. My next one is Dune Part 2. We already talked about it.
Okay.
Dune Part 2.
Woo!
Dune Part 2. Yes.
It's great. My number 5 is The Wild Robot.
Hey, that's my number 2.
Hey, nice. Wild
What's
Robot.
What's
it
a
was-
wild robot?
Neil, you definitely saw
I'm
this, right?
just kidding. Wild Robot.
Shut
Wild
up,
Robot.
Neil.
Wild Robot is my number 3 movie of the year.
It's fantastic. It's delightful. I had a smile on my whole soul. My wife saw it, and I think from the first frame, she was crying. There's a lot of fluid loss in this movie. It's not as long as you're crying about 3 or 4 times during it. It is a delightful film. And fucking when he says
Any
otherwise.
animated movie that can jerk that many tears from my fucking eyeballs deserves to be in my top 10 list. And Wild Robot was that movie. And by the end of the movie, and it did it, through the everything from, from it's like the nature versus nurture like dilemma that is in the cartoon movie, but on top of that is the point of like it had more humanity in this film than most movies that were the entire year that had actual humans in it. So
you were on our show, Chris. You got to see me gush live about The Wild Robot. It was my number one until I saw something very recently. Hint! But it really was like my number one when we did our show. It is gorgeous. It is I generally, and it's partly because Alexis Stride, I love her to death. She is a wonderful friend. She also drives me right up the fucking wall. And and Alexis is like the animation person, so I automatically now hate everything that's animated. But because I'm that guy. But The Wild Robot, despite all my issues with Disney and Pixar as of late, made me fall in love with animated movies again. It reminded me that just because it's animated doesn't mean that it's shitty.
Exactly. I love that estimate to that.
The Wild Robot is a darn near perfect movie.
Yeah. So real quick, Neil, I need help. I got.
Yeah.
And I got this one they're asking for. Though.
I will fuck you. All right.
But that's not what you're asking for. So.
That's all you got. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, the Wild Robot.
My producer's fired, everybody. I just want you to know I will be taking applications this week. Send them to byebyechris.com. No, I'm sorry.
That's fine. I can do but what was your number 5, Neil? What was it?
My number 5 is a movie that was again on an episode that we watched recently because we really wanted to have them on our top 10 list, and that is Anora.
Nice. That's my number 2.
Anora, because also being a guy who used to work in the nightclubs and the nightlife and stuff like that, this was actually a movie that really touched, really grabbed me because this is what I called every Tuesday night at the club I used to work.
You are not kidding. I said on our show, I know everybody in this movie. These are all people in my personal life.
I believe there's a dancer. I believe there's a dancer named Rachel that this exact story happened to. But to see that it happened I got to 2 weeks later, she's back at the club I worked at, going, "I need a job." It's like, didn't you just get married to a rich guy and take on But
I really loved Anora. I saw that you're Borisov. Not their best supporting actor. I don't think we get it, but fucking he deserved the nomination for it. Nora, I don't know, man. It just touched me in ways I didn't expect it to.
It's one of the. Go ahead.
Well, you guys, and Neil specifically, you put me on The Last Showgirl, which I loved, and I'm sad that Pamela Anderson didn't get a Best Actress nomination. I don't think she would have won, especially against Demi Moore. But I did make sure I saw The Last Showgirl, and we talked about it, and then we paired it with Anora and Emilia Perez. My comments about Anora at the time, that it didn't make my top 10, and it didn't make my what do you call it? My
honorable mentions.
Thank you, honorable mentions. But I think it's a well-made movie. I think Sean Baker is a great director. I think he has a perspective. I'm interested in what he has to say. My problem, I think, with Anora was I think the world in which Anora takes place is alien for most people. It's not for me. I know all these people. I've been with all of these people.
Yeah, I hung out with these people for a decade.
So watching a story about a moment in these people's lives wasn't all that interesting to me.
I just enjoyed the journey they went on. Anora describing things about herself.
Can I share something? I don't know if you saw the triple feature, but Robert. So you talked about the final frame of the movie and how it affected you. And Robert, it made him laugh hysterically. It's just the most Robert thing about Robert ever.
Yeah, that was devastating to me.
So cruel.
That last scene's devastating to me. It's
oh yeah, devastating to you, and to this ghoul, he's like crying tears of sardonic laughter. Which again, we have two extremes. There's me in the middle going, okay, yeah, that's about right. Yeah. Oh my God, you think I'm people?
All right. So, Mark, what is your number 4 of the year?
Oh, yay! A movie we haven't talked about yet. Maxine, kind of. So
that's in my honorable mentions. So
Yeah, I came on your show to talk about it. It's not the best of the trilogy. The best of the trilogy is still X.
mm,
But I loved Maxine. I said if I were a movie, I'd be Maxine. It was, I like its whole point of view about religion. I liked the slasher element. I like the gooey underbelly of society element to it. I liked the '80s aesthetic. It's just it was a beautifully made movie in a style. It's kind of my Nosferatu. Because
Yeah.
I'm not one of you like gothic moody ghouls who everything has to be from a fucking typo negative video.
How to be faithfully
black number one.
black.
God, I like typo
number
negative too, but
one.
God damn it, let joy into your life. For God's sake. So let's talk about this movie about a former porn actress who tries to get into horror movies.
Yes.
Yeah, I like.
Is that Tracy Lords?
Something like that. Yeah, I like the loudness of the '80s. I like the garish, the bright color motif of the '80s, and it was captured in Maxine. I just thought it was great. I can't say enough good things about it.
Ty West did something great with that trilogy, which I mean, every movie is completely different, which I loved about it. Like,
Chris.
oh yeah.
No, go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Go ahead and continue.
So yeah, Maxine is in my own missions. So we'll talk about it a little bit.
Chris is not only going to talk about that in his honorable mentions because he loves the entire series and he watches it constantly on loop at his house. Like he has a screen that literally just has the Pearl, X, and Maxine on because he can't get enough of his love life. Oh my God. Did you know that his number one girl is in that movie?
Mia Goth. Oh, yeah.
Like he has her tattooed on his back, like this full poster of just
I think I told you guys, we had a conversation about like who's the new Scream Queen. Is it the chick from Scream whose name is escaping? She was in Abigail. Jenna Ortega, that was the other one. That's one. Melissa Barrera, that's two. And then everyone went no, and then everyone is you, Chris, and you are everyone. And everyone on my podcast went, no, Mia Goth.
Yeah, 1%. 1%. Easy. She's
Jenna Ortega. I'm sorry.
Insane person.
Dude, have you seen the trailer for Death of a Unicorn yet?
No.
Oh, yeah.
Please, when you have to talk about it because we're doing Working Man, the Jason Statham movie. You guys have to do Death of a Unicorn because you're my backup, and you have to have
Death of a Unicorn. Well, you heard it here first, guys. All right. Chris, what's your number 4?
We talked about Doom Part 2.
Doom Part 2, of course, because it was beautiful. It's amazing. And anything Josh Brolin's in these days, I'm going to go see.
Yeah.
I mean, remember there's a time when you're like, I don't know if I'm going to see a movie with him in it. Now you're like, every movie he is in, you have to go see.
For sure.
Like,
yeah. Did we already talk about our number 2s and number 1s? No, I don't think we have.
Well, we're at 4.
We're at number 4. Mine was Nosferatu. We talked about it earlier. In the
okay,
thing.
So we're up to number 3. We're up to number 3. It's a movie we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah, go.
If it weren't for the other two, which sounds like duh, this is my Genosha is Genosha comment. But if it weren't for the other two, this would have been my number 1. And it is my pick to win Best Picture. My sympathy pick. It's not going to win. It's my sympathy pick to win Best Picture this year. It is by far one of my favorite movies this year. This is the alpha, the omega. This is the horizontal, the vertical. It's my Fresh, The Substance.
Yeah, same.
Oh my God. The Substance was so good.
The Substance. I knew you were going to pop this sooner or later. My Substance is actually number 2 on my list. So The Substance is number 2 on my list. Chris, do you have it anywhere on your list?
It's number 3. The same as mine.
Number 3. See, all right. So you guys are both on number 3. I got it at number 2.
By the way, the top three are interchangeable. I couldn't pick, but The Substance could be another day could have been number 1. It's an insanely good movie.
The Substance is probably one of the best movies. I mean, if you're like 2024, what movies do you remember? This is going to be one of the top 5 that you remember.
So I talked endlessly about Fresh when it came out. Every time I meet somebody new who's like into the horror genre, I tell them about Fresh. When people ask me about like what are some of your favorite movies of the last few years, I tell them about Fresh. Fresh was the Gunther
Yeah.
of my fucking movies for their life.
The Gunther! Okay,
Neil
for
gets
you-
that reference.
That he's the world heavyweight champion, Chris, right now,
Okay,
and a
But for
lot
like
of
an
people.
extended long time. Like he went on like a 2 or 3 year run with the NXT
Yeah,
title.
of run with the Intercontinental Champion. He's
Thanks for
he's
filling-
the
thanks for sharing-
he's the
thanks for
wrestling
sharing
he's
that.
the wrestling man's wrestler, not the flippy.
Yeah.
You know,
But what
Or
I
what-
bring it up
what
because
he
it,
does.
because the Fresh held
he'd
the
be the
title.
punk rock of wrestling
yeah.
guy.
Fresh held the title for like 3 years and then finally lost it to this, up and comer, this new hot thing, the Substance. I have been raving about this.
Mhm.
What it talks about in terms of how we treat women,
Mhm.
the ageism in our society, sexism
Oh,
in our
yeah.
society, and then you mix it with the body horror element.
Oh, dude.
Oh my god,
It is. It's enormously awesome.
Yeah, no, it's darn near perfect in every possible way a film can be. My only quibble about it is you probably could have cut some of the longingly gazing scenes into the mirror. There were some places to kind of cut
But
this thing down a bit.
that was supposed to make you feel, like
You can
creepy.
still cut it. It was a bit. It got a bit self-indulgent.
This movie goes places you don't expect it to go. Like, where another movie would
Like
say,
that Sam Raimi ending. Oh my god!
it's like where less courageous directors would just glaze over that part. It went all the way. It's
Mm,
fucking in the last scene of this, the last frame of this is
yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
I actually have a fact about it too. It's like it took 45 takes for Demi Moore to complete a scene in The Substance, leaving her face raw from repeating, applying, and removing the makeup.
Oh my
And the
god!
makeup artist eventually
I
had
said
to
it on
step
our
in to shoot
review.
it.
I thought they were going to go full Poltergeist, and she was going to have rubbed her face off.
Yeah,
That's what I was
like,
waiting for.
it was like one of the best movies of all time. If I was to put up like what is one of the best like top 10, 20 movies
Mhm.
of the since 2000, this is definitely going to be in there always. Like
This is such a surprise.
this is one of the ones that it's like, okay, I'll go see this movie, and I see it, and I'm like, this is probably one of the best fucking things I've ever seen in my entire existence.
yeah.
on
This
the
is
planet
Demi
Earth.
Moore's best movie.
You
Yeah.
take if I hadn't seen what I've seen recently, and I hadn't seen the Wild Rose, it would be my number one.
Yeah.
It is everything I want a movie to be, and I'm so happy that I saw it. I'm so happy that like I've met friends in the film and podcast community like you guys, and I really do mean that. Like I know I'm like not a serious person at times, but I genuinely mean I'm glad I made friends with you because it's because of people like you that I knew about The Substance. Because otherwise, I wouldn't have seen it.
A local
So-
pro wrestler just jumped in and left a comment for us and called us a bunch of fucking marks.
He's not wrong.
All right. But anyway, yeah, The Substance was a great movie. I agree on it. My number 3 for the year was actually we already talked about it a little bit ago because you guys said it wrong one. There we go. Boom. The Wild Robot.
Nice.
It was I'm amazed. It was one of my favorite movies of the year. Nothing. It made me cry like a little baby. It was awesome. No way more than to say that. What's your number 2 for the year? Good old Mark.
Wild Robot.
Wild Robot. Woo! Wild Robot. Wild Robot. Chris, what's your number 2 for this year?
Honora, we talked about too.
Honora. Woo! Which we already talked about earlier as well. And then my number 2, we just got done talking about, which is The Substance. So then that
I
goes
can
to-
guess your number one, but we'll talk about it. I can guess your
We'll
number
talk
one.
about it when we get to it,
Yeah. Yeah.
But this time, guys, what is your top 5 honorable mentions for 2024? Ones
God,
that
I now have to kick something off the list. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
just what you got there, buddy.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to whip through this. I'm not going to explain them.
Yeah.
You can ask me questions. I will take questions from the audience.
Okay, sure.
Okay.
The Fall Guy, Cuckoo, Godzilla multiplied by Kong, The New Empire, Piece by Piece, fuck you, Chris, even though I love you, and Transformers 1.
I'm glad to see that you had Cuckoo on that list. It's a really interesting movie.
Yes.
My honorable mentions. 5 is Maxine, we talked about. 4 is Alien Romulus. Number 3
Okay,
is Trios.
Alexis.
All right. Number 3 is Trios. Number 2 is Deadpool and Wolverine. Number 1, Civil War.
Oh, God, thank you for not putting Deadpool and Wolverine as your number 1 because I would have come to wherever the fuck you live in the Midwest and beat the shit out of you.
I have a problem
I know.
putting I know I have a sequel in my top 10, but I could not put Dune Part 2. I didn't want to put any sequels in my top 10, but hey, I couldn't avoid how good Dune.
Let me
2
tell you how Alexis and watch this be Neil's number one. But Alexis put Deadpool and Wolverine as her number one, and both Robert and I had to like stifle laughter.
Yeah.
And she was sitting there on the podcast, like, what? And went through and turned into me. It was like, it brought joy to my life. It made me feel young, like when the world was new. And Robert and I are trying to not laugh. And I finally managed to like just get out, like, it's fine, Alexis. You're allowed to like what you like. And like I had to like dive under my desk to keep stop from laughing even
Deadpool,
further.
it's a really fun movie.
Sure.
Yeah, but okay, so my 5 honorable mentions was Fall Guy. Piece by Piece, of course, was one of them that I like. One that no one's talked about was Heretic with Hugh Grant turning evil, creepy guy. Really got my motor running. Complete Unknown was another one, and one I don't think anybody has talked about. Love Lies Bleeding.
I wanted to see that. Is that any good?
Yeah.
It's literally the acting between Kristen Stewart and Kathy O'Brien and Ed Harris returning to like the villain, being a villain again in a movie. Like it was a really good time
for it. It's on Max and it's really good.
I was gonna say I know it's available for streaming on something that I have, so I might have to just like watch it one night.
It's a worth your time for sure. I think it's on Max and it almost made me honorable mentions along with Driveway Dolls. So almost made by honorable mentions as well, but it didn't.
I wish Driveway Dolls had been better. I liked it well enough, but it wasn't quite what I wanted it to be. Yeah.
All right, here it is, guys. We're at the end of it. The number one movie of the year, Mr. Mark Radlick. What is your number one movie for the year?
The Brutalist.
I haven't seen it, so I don't even know what that is.
I want you to talk about it, though.
So,
talk about it.
It's my pick to win Best Picture of the Year. It is the best movie I have seen in the year of our Lord 2024. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful. It is so well acted. It is so much let's put it this way. It is everything I said about the substance in terms of what a movie should be, minus the body horror. It's about the immigrant experience. Adrian Brody is a Hungarian who comes to America, and it's like like in I think the 50s. And it's an allegory for discussing the Jewish experience from World War II on, the Holocaust experience, that kind of a thing. I can't give away some of the stuff that happens in the movie in terms of, he's an architect and he goes back to being an architect after stopping for a while, because sometimes when you come over from a foreign country, you don't continue to do your foreign profession.
Mm-hmm.
But there's stuff about the things that he designs that is very, very specific to his life experience. So you'll know it when you see it. But the brutal. This is Guy Pearce's probably finest moment. He's so good in this. Like I said, if you've seen Felicity Jones in Rogue One, and you're like, well, she's terrible. What? You can't take her seriously. See her in The Brutalist. The woman can fucking act. Like it reminds you how badly Star Wars will damage an actor, because she is so good in The Brutalist. He's so good in this. I get the 3.5 hour runtime with an intermission and probably the lack of ability to go see a movie, because it's in wide release, but wide release. Like I think Robert said it would have taken an hour to drive to a theater closest to where he lives in his part of the world to go see it. Why he hasn't. We're going to talk about it on Monday, along with Conclave and A Complete Unknown. I was on the edge of my seat for almost 4 hours watching this thing. I have never been happier to watch a movie. It's one of those things where Hot Frosty was also on my list. I don't always take things this seriously, but The Brutalist, as a serious film person, is the best you can ask for in the medium. It's super.
Yeah, I'm seeing this tomorrow, so.
Okay, come back and tell me how right I am. Because I love when people tell me that I'm right and I'm a genius.
All right, Chris, your number one pick for 2024.
We talked about Late Night with the Devil.
What?
Late Night with the Devil.
No, you did not. You didn't say that earlier.
He went to dude, I zoned out. I was watching football, but yes, he talked about it for like 20 minutes.
No, he did not.
Neil's number one is Deadpool and Wolverine, by the way.
I'm gonna go get a drink. I can't.
100% my number one.
How,
Is
when I was
Deadpool
talking
3.
about that, how many times were you like, "Fuck you, Mark, fuck you, Mark"?
No, I
fuck
saw
you,
Neil's
Mark"?
face.
No,
I saw Neil's eyes.
I'll give you the
Squint.
reason. I'll give you the reason why on my side. And one rewatchability. I
Mhm.
love rewatchability. I've watched Deadpool Wolverine more times than any movie in 2024. I have thrown it on while I'm doing chores around the house. Like if I'm bored or I'm playing the video game on the Switch, I'll throw it on in the background. I have watched it a million times. There are scenes in that movie that literally have over like 23 Easter eggs. For a comic book nerd like me, it has literally made payoff for every TV, comic book, movie, and comic books I have read my entire existence. There are things I am still catching in the movie that I have not caught, and I've seen it literally over 20 times this year. So yes, that is why. I am not saying it is the greatest thing in cinematic history or that it even declares any kind of awards. I'm not. I'm saying for someone who has read all these comics, all the comics I own, seen all these movies, seen all this stuff, the Fox universe gets a death nail to it. It's like, hey, we're going to give it that good goodbye. Hey, we tried. Here's Blade. Remember, you liked them. You liked Blade. Remember Jennifer Gardner as Elektra? You kind of liked her. Everything got a payoff in it. And on top of that, it is the movie I've heard quoted more times when I go to a bar or an event or an arena. I've heard that, or the NSYNC Bye 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 made number one for 14 weeks on Spotify because of Deadpool. All things for Deadpool this year. There's only one movie that made more money than that, and it was Inside Out.
Yeah.
2.
I mean, everyone knows here that the amount of money something made is not reflective of its quality.
Yeah, piece by piece. Pieces. I'm mad at you about that.
Piece by piece.
Sorry, that was your whole argument. Like, nobody saw this. It's not good.
It was a great movie. Piece by piece. It was awesome.
I'll never forgive you for that, Chris. Never.
That's okay. Whatever. Deadpool Wolverine. We'll go through our list again. Mark, go through your list. Honorable mentions.
Okay. Honorable mentions: The Fall Guy, Cuckoo, Godzilla multiplied by Kong: The New Empire, Piece by Piece, Transformers 1. Number 10, I Saw the TV Glow. Number 9, Red 1. Number 8, Hot Frosty, baby. Woo! Number 7, Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. Number 6, A Complete Unknown. Number 5, A Dune Part 2. Number 4, Maxazine. Number 3, The Substance. Number 2, The Wild Robot. And number 1, you hoi polloi, you commoners, you film barbarians, The Brutalist. Get some culture in your life, god damn it.
Can't wait to see it. By the way, I'm seeing it after work, so I'll be home at 11:30. I guess.
You'll be home. Yeah, don't die at the theater, please.
Don't drink anything with caffeine in it. You're gonna have to pee a lot.
And maybe can you take like an IV to the screening with you? Like
I have bruises all my. I look like a fucking heroin addict from all the times they poked me.
Look like your wife.
How do you know what a heroin addict looks like, Chris?
Dude, I have friends growing up.
He was a Bob Dylan fan growing up.
Yeah. Top 10. I'll go through my list. Honorable mentions. Maxine, Alien the Romulus, Furiosa, Deadpool and Wolverine. Number 1 is Civil War. Top 10. 10 is Wicked. Number 9 is Complete Unknown. Number 8 is Nosferatu. Number 7 is Longlegs. Number 6 is Strange Darling. Number 5 is A Wild Robot. Number 4, Dune Part 2. Number 3, The Substance. Number 2, Honora. And number 1, Late Night the Devil. I want to say 1 through 3 are interchangeable. I had a hard time numbering them, but that's my number 10. That's my best in of 2024. Neil, please repeat your list.
Fuck off.
No,
I'm sorry. My list for the year, honorable mention Fall Guy, because I just thought it was one of the most funnest action movies of the year. I mean, I don't think we really talked about it much when we did say it, but I think that was one of the best action movies of the
Fun
year.
movie.
Piece by Piece, because Legos made me cry. Love Lies Bleed, because two lesbians killing Ed Harris is awesome. Heretic, Hugh Grant. Heretic, Hugh Grant being a bad guy, and Complete Unknown, Timothée Chalamet being a complete asshole, because that's probably what he is. Real Pain was my number 10 pick. Dune Part 2 is number 9. Late Night with the Devil, number 8. Wicked is at number 7. 6 is is Long Legs. Number 5 was Anora. Number 4, Nosferatu. Number 3 was Wild Robot. Number 2 is The Substance. I know, I was adding them all together. And number 1, Deadpool Wolverine. Now, guys, we just did our top 10 for 2024 and all that, but I have a list of movies. These are movies that are all coming out in 2025. What is the number 1 movie that you are looking forward to in the year of 2025?
Ooh,
I'm not seeing Companions on here.
Okay, if I have to choose from this list, I'm actually.
This is just some of them to help out.
Yeah,
But
no.
yeah.
Well, I mean, from this, I'll make this easy. From this list, I'm looking forward to Thunderbolts. That actually, look,
Yeah.
Marvel has a lot of stains on it right now. It's trash brand. It's not nearly as bad as Star Wars, but I actually think Thunderbolts is a return to that old Marvel magic that we love. So I'm looking forward to that one. Snow, can you put that back up real quick?
Yeah, sure.
I saw Wolfman. Go check out our review for that. I'm gonna just hit a couple of these really quickly. Captain America: A Brave New World. You might love it. You might hate it. It is going to be the Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny level financial disaster. This thing should have been
that
canceled.
sucks. I don't want that.
It has to make it came out this past week. It has to make $1 billion to break even.
Yeah.
This bullshit's not making $1 billion. No way. This is going to lose them so much money. It makes me sad. Speaking of them, and then they're going to lose even more money with that piece of shit Snow White movie that's coming out. If you want to do a Lord of the Rings-esque high fantasy Snow White movie, then make that movie. But don't tell me you're also then remaking the animated classic. You can't do both.
You can't do both.
Mickey 17 looks like a lot of fun, and I can't wait to take my kids to it. The opposite of that is the Minecraft movie, which looks like hot garbage. And it makes me sad.
Garbage. Like, I don't even know what it is about at this point. I'm like, I know they're supposed to build blocks, right?
The new mission, whether or not the new Mission Impossible is good or bad, or how well or how
we're all going to see it.
We're all going to see it, and I'm excited to see the end of this series. I'm excited to see Tom Cruise finally put this to bed.
Yep.
I'm kind of excited for the new Karate Kid movie. I'm curious to see what they do with it. I was really down on Ballerina. I honestly was like,
I think it's going to be terrible.
I don't know if it is or not. I saw a trailer for it today, where the first thing they said is you're always going to be smaller, you're always going to be weaker, so you have to cheat. You have to be in some ingenuity. And I'm like, oh, good, we're treating Ana de Armas like a girl. Thank God. I think Ilya will be okay. It's hard to say. This year, Inside Out 2 made them a lot of money. Elemental was a sleeper hit, so maybe that old Pixar magic is back. We'll see. I'm hoping the world gets over their racism and accepts the race-swapped people in How to Train Your Dragon. That's a big world state for me.
Yeah.
Alexis keeps saying, in James Gunn we trust, and I keep saying your trust is misplaced. But I will see how I am skeptical of Superman. I think the number
I want to see it. I just want a Superman where he's Superman again, like Christopher Reeve Superman.
You're a big comic book nerd. You've read All-Star Superman, right?
Yes, I know exactly what it's from. In fact, I have the action figures over there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm gonna read All-Star Superman before the movie comes out. I mean, I think James Gunn will do a passable job of honoring the source material, but Superman's a damaged brand. I think that I'm skeptical Fantastic Four makes any money but if the Thunderbolts is good, maybe people will come back. And Fantastic Four doesn't look like trash. I think people will come back for it. I think,
sir, that has nothing to do with Marvel. And I just want you to know right now, Pedro Pascal is a fucking legend, and every movie he does will be awesome.
Stop doing drugs. I think I will say this, and then I'll be done with my rant here. That Jurassic World movie, whether it's good or bad, so for some odd reason, that brand can survive anything, and I think
Yeah.
that'll be the #1 movie box office wise in the world. I think that makes $1 billion. I think it's going to make $1 billion. I think it's #1 for the year, and I don't think it has any competitors, to be honest with you.
Avatar, Fire, and Ash, or whatever it is.
Except
Fire
for
and Ash.
Avatar, Fire and Ash will also be the #1
Yeah,
movie of
like,
the year.
My
Oops.
Neil, pull that back up for me. Companions on it, which comes out Friday. I can't wait to watch it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
taking
Companion's one of them.
taking my girlfriend to see that. We'll be reviewing it
Yeah.
tomorrow.
After seeing Barbarian, I'll see anything that Drew Hancock does, because he directed it. I am looking forward to Mickey 17. That looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Thunderbolts actually looks like fun. I
Yeah.
actually look forward to that. Mission Impossible, we'll see it because Ballerina. It's been like it's supposed to come out last year, and there've been some reshoots. I'm a bit cautiously optimistic, but I'm scared for it.
Yeah.
Elio,
I feel better after the trailer.
Elio, hey, yeah, hopefully Pixar can capture it. How to Train Your Dragon. I saw the clip of the trailer for this. I'm like, it looks exactly the same. So 20 years later, I cannot wait for. I'm a big fan of Danny Boyle, and 20 years later, 20 years later. So this, I have no clue if F1 is with Brad Pitt. Is that like a racing movie? What is that?
It's a racing movie. It's
Yeah.
F1
Who's
racing.
the director? Is that oh gosh, who's it's a famous director who's doing that, and I can't remember his name. Hang on, I'll look it up.
Okay. Also, M3 Gen 2, whatever. Like I liked it, Megan, but I wasn't jizzing my pants over a lot of people.
Oh yeah, you were. You're
Jurassic
all about
World. It's gonna have.
I've seen your closet of like sex robots. I know
box to it.
exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, so
Dread-
it's directed by Joseph Kosinski, who did Tron Legacy, Oblivion, Only the Brave, and Top Gun Maverick. Oh,
Oh shit!
that one's gonna be
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah.
Nice.
Jurassic World. It's got Scarlett Johansson in it, but I didn't know they'd make another one. I thought it was over. Okay. Superman. Wait until it comes out. Does that
Yeah.
really cast judgment? I don't give a fuck about it. I know what you did last summer I saw that movie. Smurfs, don't care. Fantastic
You
Four.
care about the Smurfs. When's the last time someone blew you?
Fantastic Four, hold my judgment until more information comes out about that. They don't need to remake the Naked Gun. Who gives a shit? The Bad Guys too. I'll watch that.
Hey, we don't talk about Liam Neeson like that.
I didn't talk shit about him.
Yeah, he did.
I said we need to remake. Nobody too. I'll watch Conjuring, Saw, Tron. There is Running Man, and then Avatar will win. Will get the most money this year. I couldn't care less about watching it though. I'm actually dreading it. So,
The ones that I'm really big excited about this coming up here is one. Of course I want to see Captain America because I want to see Red Hulk. And I had explained to someone the other day that there's a Red Hulk. Like they didn't know that there was.
Did you see what came out this week about it? That he's only in the movie. Did you see what the news about the Red Hulk is this week?
What?
He's only in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Cool. Whatever.
Okay.
So is MODOK in Ant-Man and Wasp. And I love MODOK. I don't like that version of MODOK, but at least I got to see MODOK on the big screen. The Account too, I'm interested in that one because I love The Accountant with Ben Affleck and Anna Kendrick. I don't even know if she's in that one though with that. Superman, of course, I want to see how James Gunn is gonna, it's either gonna be a hit or miss. And the thing is, Creature Commandos on HBO Max, I fucking love that show, and he did that.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things about it. Alexis and Jason did a review of it. They raved about it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the songs were Go Bordello throughout the entire series. Like when I heard it start wearing purple, I was like, yes, start wearing purple right now.
Neil, just so you know, I can guarantee the movies on that list will not. Most of those will not be our top 10 of 2025.
Oh, Superman will probably be number one. Running Man.
I'm gonna lose my fucking mind if that's true, but okay.
The Running Man. I'm a huge fan of the original Running Man and the book
Fuck
series.
yeah.
And Glenn Powell's been knocking out of the park, so I want to see that. Nobody too. I haven't even seen a fucking trailer yet for it, but it's been Bob Odenkirk, and Bob Odenkirk has never done anything wrong in my entire history of anything. Karate Kid Legends, I feel like it's just a cash grab off of Karate Kid because they did Cobra Kai and they had to end it. So I feel like that's just a quick cash grab. Smurfs, though, is probably the number one movie of the year. I'm really looking forward to.
Who gives a fuck?
Who gives a fuck what movie you want to watch, Neil? Screw it. Screw Neil.
We just talked about Sean Aries.
I
Sorry,
was literally just saying I wanted to see Smurfs more than anything.
Neil, there's a Smurfs that came out like a couple years ago, right?
They
Yeah,
do
it's
one
a
every
great
couple
movie.
of years. It's like a Scooby Doo movie.
I collect Smurfs, bro.
Show
Do you
me.
really?
Go get one.
No, I don't have one. I used to have them. I used to have the little figures. When
Yeah, so did I. I used to get them in my Easter basket from my nana.
Oh,
Aw.
but yeah, that's it. But you know, Superman is the big one for me. I just want DC to be good for once. Just like, can you just give me a good DC series at this point? I mean, the last time we got a good DC 2 movies in a row was what, Batman and Batman Returns.
Here's the thing.
You know?
I keep telling Alexis, like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Don't just assume that because James Gunn did a good job with Guardians of the Galaxy under the strict supervision of Marvel that he's fucking like he can't ever make.
Oh
a
no,
mistake.
right?
You know, so like, here's my thing with Superman. It'll be the last thing I say. I'll let you guys end the show. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's James Gunn's not an incompetent director. It also depends on how collaboratively he works. Because I think if you, like a lot of directors, if you let them have an unfiltered vision of what it is they want to do, it's going to be garbage. However, if James Gunn has some people kind of controlling him and pointing him in the right direction, I think the Superman movie is going to be good. But what I'm afraid of is that it's not going to make any money and it's going to get tarred with that feather, where people like it bombs because people don't trust it. So I'm afraid about that, about what the narrative is going to be. I'm also afraid of like the angry white boy syndrome that the internet is infected with. You know, the critical drinkers and midnight edges of the world, where it's not, you know, they're so butthurt over what's happened to comic book movies over the last decade that now nothing is good.
Yeah.
And that I mean, like, dude,
Yeah, that really just I don't take that like vision of it because I don't get that because me being a comic book nerd as a real nerd and growing up before nerd was a good thing and it was a bad thing and we still got the wedgies and swirlies and the, you know, and stuff like that. But like being that nerd, I, in my entire life, never thought I would see half of these characters on the TV screen, let alone a movie screen.
right.
Like and to be able to see some of these characters, yeah, that's not my favorite version of them, or that's not my, you know, vision of them. But man, I never thought I was going to ever see, you know, like when I was a kid, like until Batman '89 came out, like everything was shit. Like it always mocked comic books. Comic books were more mocked. And those characters, for me to actually just see them for a little bit, like, yeah, Pierce Bronson was Dr. Fate, one of my favorite characters of all time in a shitty movie, but at least I got to see Pierce Bronson play Dr. Fate in a movie.
It's like they experimented with girl bossness in comic books and you know, diehard male comic book fans went, "You've offended me, sir." And like now everything is bad. And like my most recent example of this is going to be a funny one. It'll make Chris laugh. Like Andre from Midnight Edge is so fucking bitter and so butthurt about what's happened to his favorite things. He put out a video about the one problem, the fatal flaw of fucking Nosferatu. Like, go fuck yourself, pal.
What's the fatal flaw in Nosferatu?
I didn't even watch. I watch everything that guy puts out because, good, bad, or indifferent, I'm interested in his opinion. Right. I wouldn't even watch that video. I'm like, that's absurd to me. He is like rooting for things to fail. He's the critical drinker. Is like, I still have hope. Like, you know, but like Andre is definitely sort of leading the charge. And the only reason I'm bringing it up is because he does speak for a segment of the population that's rooting for things to fail. Like, I'm not rooting for Captain America to fail. I'm sorry, it's not going to make $1 billion. Get a hold of yourself.
Yeah, I don't see. I'm the kind of person I don't want anything to fail because if it fails, that means that genre is going to have less. And I don't want I don't want any genre to have less, because I want to see people be creative in different genres so I can get those good movies from those genre. Yeah, you're gonna get the
See,
crappy one, but
So Neil, here's the problem with that. I feel like if a genre has less, they'll have better chance to make better movies, and that's what I want to see.
Here's the
Better
problem:
no.
if you have,
I
too many
feel like
cha-
you need
if you have too many,
105 of them, throw them against the wall, 2 of them are gonna stick.
if you have too many movies like Joker and The Crow, when you walk into an office and pitch, I want to do a comic book movie, you're gonna get laughed out of the office. Like, no, comic book movies don't make money anymore. It's like, okay, but those were very specific failures, very specific problems.
Yeah.
But executives have lizard brain; they're not gonna listen to you. They're gonna, and then Neil's right. Then Marvel stuff will always get made. DC stuff will always get made. They're the 2 biggest comic book companies in the world. But the stuff from like Dynamite or from some of these lesser known publishers, they'll be
Image
condemned
Comics,
to the
whatever.
Image. I couldn't think of the word. Image Comics. They'll be condemned to the Netflixes of the world, and they'll look like uglies.
Yeah.
So no, thank you.
So overall, guys, do you think 2024 was a great year for movies?
Oh, can you guys believe that we did this in 2 hours? Can you
Yes.
believe it?
Oh,
It's-
yeah, I can, because we kind of kept it on Doshin,
Yeah.
and the wonderful, inspiration from good old Mark there saying to do what we did instead of going into more detail.
Oh yeah,
about
yeah,
every
yeah.
movie.
When we did it last year, I think we each did our own take on the same movie.
Yes.
Like 17 times.
Yeah.
But anyway, so overall, do you think 2024 was a good comeback to the movie theaters? Do you
Yeah.
think this was a great?
Yeah,
Because to
absolutely.
be honest, like 2023, we are kind of having an issue for a little bit of getting people back in the theater after the big,
Yeah.
what was
There were
the
3 movies that made over $1 billion this year. Considering where we've been since 2020, the big reset, where from 2021 on, we've been trying to rebuild. And I want to say, I heard a statistic on one of the industry podcasts that I listened to. The volume of movies is back to 2019.
That's good.
So,
Yeah.
so that's returned. I think we're still struggling at the box office, but the box office will never be the same.
Yeah.
Not with the amount of streaming options there are available and people's desire to not go
Yeah, and
outside.
I remember I had a fact at one point about this, but it was like literally I might have deleted or something where we've been talking, but literally the box office for this past year, the top 3 movies alone altogether was more than what it was for the top 10 of last year. And that's just telling you something right there.
I always go to the theater. That's not going to stop me. I mean, maybe
If you want to stop, you have to fucking kill me.
I know. I mean, I have to come in with my IVs. I was just 2 IVs this last weekend. It was
I mean, we
fucking
even had did you even know Inside Out 2 surpassed The Lion King, the highest grossing animated film of all time, the 8th current highest grossing movie of all time.
My son's really depressed about that and Mufasa making money because he was like, oh no, they're going to get more shitty movies. Oh, it was Inside Out 2, Moana 2, and the Mufasa. He was just like, God damn it, stop going to movies. He's 10. God damn it, people, stop going to bad movies. That's only going to get more of these.
Yeah. Inside Out 2 became the 54th movie to gross $1 billion. Deadpool Wolverine came 55th, and Moana 2 became the 56th.
I can't believe Moana 2 just made so much fucking money. It's okay.
But people wanted back to the norm, just like Inside Out 2, and why that made so much money.
I'll tell you, if you're looking for things to talk about, it's like, well, what have we learned from this past year? Your DEI is fucking dead.
Yeah.
Dead as a doornail. The gender swap and race swap stuff. Let's put gay shit in our movies. Which again, look at my list. Like clearly an ally, but
we're all allies here.
I can see the truth, and and these people have loud voices. Like the big switch is on. We're back to like give the silent majority what they want, and what they want is stuff they can bring their kids to. And so, like I said, I think a lot of the stuff from like 2018, 2019, those trends in movies, that's dead. That's gone. And whatever was in the pipeline in the last few years will come out, and it'll be that. But anything new that's getting made, like if it's not what the vast majority of people want, it's not getting made.
And the like cinematic universes actually this year too. This is another one. The Marvel Cinematic franchise was the first franchise ever to gross 30 and 31 billion with the release of Deadpool Wolverine this year. Like literally, there's so many records that were broken. Hell, Terrifier 3 became the movie, the highest grossing unrated movie of all time. It's
awesome.
now the number one gross. Like I put a bunch of facts throughout this thing for.
I really feel like they should release closer to Christmas with the Christmas theme throughout it, but
It's been your Christmas Day with
yeah. Yeah, fuck. This year, I just hope we get something as good as The Substance every year from now on.
We do. We're gonna get. Let's see. I believe F1 was on there. That's gonna be the.
It's hard to know what kind of independent stuff. Like who saw The Substance coming? I think like the big headline about that is that The Substance, which is a body horror movie, got nominated for Best Picture. So
that's insane.
That's
insane.
a positive.
I love the fact that did, and I was like, man, The Substance is just one of those great movies, guys. If you haven't got anything from this podcast today, go watch The fucking Substance. It's literally the number one.
Fangoria did a feature on, so that's how I was hip to it. But I saw it, and then I walked out of that, and I for 5 minutes didn't know what to think, and then after those 5 minutes, I fucking love The Substance. It's so good.
I can't remember. What movie was it? Was it The Substance? I think it was The Substance where people walked out of in front of me.
Yeah.
There was it was The Substance. It was at the beginning, like right when she does her first transformation, like this group of 4 just get up and walk out, and it's like, do you guys not look up what you're going to go watch? I know there's another movie earlier this year that I had that I went into that I was like, I knew what it was, but obviously the other people did not know what the movie was.
That happened to Two Rows and Kinds of Kindness for me. And
I was going to say mine was like My Old Ass. Like I gushed about My Old Ass, but like I couldn't conceivably put it on a list of any kind. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. But it's one of those where like I can't put every movie I enjoyed on this list. My list will be 500 movies long.
I had a friend who had it in his top 5, I think. My Old Ass.
I don't doubt that. I can see that.
Like I really wanted to put in like Furiosa, Thelma, like Boy Kills World, Monkey Man. Like those are movies that I've been watching not constantly all year long since we watched them.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like I have to definitely weigh my personal enjoyment versus objective quality.
Yeah,
also, the first time I did this with you guys and I shared my list with my friends, Chris Bailey goes, "Your list seems like the kind of thing a loser would make that has no friends." And I was like,
nice.
But you said 2 friends on this podcast, so
it's true. Well, his point was like,
I'm just saying,
don't be the art house hot frosty. Don't be that is a direct result of that comment. No, I have to. I can't put every art house movie in the world on my list. Like that, because it's
and you can't put all the worst ones out there on your worst list.
I didn't even see the second Rebel Moon.
Don't worry.
We did that first Rebel Moon, and then I turned like, we're gonna do the second one, and everyone went, hell no.
Or Apartment 7A. I thought that'd be in one of your guys' worst lists.
I didn't see it. I relegated that to the B team, which was Alexis, Robert, and Dorian.
Yeah. 7A is just
along with Salem's Lot.
I didn't see that because I love the book and I didn't want to sully that for me.
Yeah, everybody kept on saying how like originally we were going to do the Salem's Lot episode with something else came out of Stephen King at the time, and we were going to like do that as a double, and then all of a sudden all the bad reviews came out, and I was like, I'm not going to watch it, man. I'm just not going to watch it. I'm not going to ruin Salem's Lot for me.
I think that's the other thing that happened to me this year was like the tacit recognition. I can't see every fucking movie that comes out.
Yeah.
I'm trying to watch more of the streaming stuff. I've made some, arrangements to make sure I include them in my movie schedule, but I just can't see everything.
Yeah. I wish I could. I wish I could quit my job, and that was my job. Do see movies and blather about them on the internet.
William Bibiani and Whitney Seibold of Critically Acclaimed, they do that. Like theirs is like they'll review like 10 or 9 movies per episode. They see some weirdo stuff. They both say they can't see everything.
Wow.
Like their
Wow.
show is they won't both have seen the movie in a lot of
I
cases.
9 to 10 per episode. There's no fucking way, bro. like, there's no way. Like, I'd have to give up video game playing and wrestling watching and like
Goodbye.
But guys, I think that'll be a good place to end this. Let's get it done for the day. The best of 2024. We went through our best. We went through our worst. We went through our honorable mentions. We even went through that we actually love each other and that there's going to be a weird threesome at some point in the next future.
Once again, a threesome I actually wanted to be in.
It's a promise. It's a promise. But you guys find us on moviesonsuck.net. We're at facebook.com/moviesonsuck podcast. We're on the Blue Sky at Movies on Suck podcast. We're on Instagram TS podcast. We're on Patreon.com/moviesonsuck. We're on TeePublic /Blackwood Productions. You'll find shirts like the one Zeno is wearing and other cool shit. Autograph something to do, and where we find podcasts. We find contests. You find Movies on Suck something to do. Mark, I forgot to let you do details. Give your details real quick.
First, you can check out me on TikTok, where we're actually streaming for the first time. That's a cool feature on here. So I'm at Mark Radulich on TikTok. I told the story on the last Metal Hammer of Doom jukebox where I left my girlfriend's house and I did not make it to the bathroom. If you would like the details of that story, podcast. Yeah. Oh no, I'm not going to do it now. It's a rather.
Did you poo yourself?
Oh, I'm more than that. I defiled an entire bathroom.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, it's the last couple minutes of that episode.
Dude. Wow.
Yeah, it's the one where we did a war retrospective, and then at the end, I had to explain why antibiotics really tear up your stomach. Anywho, that inspired not one, not two, but 3 AI-generated songs about me shitting my pants. Those are all on my TikTok.
Okay.
If you're wondering, also on my TikTok, once a month or so, Jesse and I get together. We do a session because we're hoity. And it is, we create the art and music with AI. And right now we're working on Radulich and Broadcasting Network, the album. Nice. So every song that we create is on my TikTok. Check them out and tell us how wonderful our musical creations are. I'm also a part of W2M Network. We are W2M Network on YouTube. We are W2M Network on Twitch. And then my element of it, if you would like to actually listen to a podcast like a normal person on audio from a podcast catcher, check out. Yes,
Radulich nobody does that anymore.
Everyone's on fucking YouTube. It's Radulich and Broadcasting Network. That's where all my shows are. Our new movie of the week podcast is called Damn You Hollywood. We just did Wolfman. Tomorrow we are doing a triple feature of Conclave, A Complete Unknown, and The Brutalist. So check that out. Triple Feature is another podcast that I do. And then the next Damn You Hollywood will be for Companion. So
I'll be there for that one. All right, Neil, what are your small businesses?
If you got a small business, let us know. Give us the email, give us a message, and we'll be more happy to promote you right here on our podcast to our thousands of listeners, our millions of followers right here at Movies Don't Suck and Something to Do.
Are you guys ready out here? Are you watching football or lay down?
Yeah, I want to go watch the Chiefs.
I'm 2 out of 5 of my legs so far, so we're doing good.
Oh, who won? Who won the first game, by the way?
It's still on, but the Eagles are winning by almost 30. Not 30, but
nice.
Eagles are almost at 30, and I think the Commanders are 12 or 15 or whatever. Anyway, they're like double their score.
Well, let's end this, buddy.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
That's another episode of Movies Don't Suck and Some Do. My name's Neil.
And I'm Chris.
I'm Bob.
Thank you, guys. Remember, the best of 2024 was all of us telling you how much we appreciate you. Thank you for coming out for the podcast every day. And remember, Deadpool Wolverine was the best movie of 2024. There is no argument. Have a good day.
I think
so the Eagles are winning. It's going to be Eagles versus Kansas City. So literally, since I have all this green Philadelphia stuff from WrestleMania 40, I think I'm going to wear that if the Chiefs win today, and I'll go to the Super Bowl party with all my Philadelphia stuff.
My girlfriend and I are going to a Super Bowl party at a swinger party house here in Florida. and I
At
bought
a swinger's house? Is that what you
swinger
just
party
said?
house. Yes,
Nice.
I go there all the time. Like that's not news, but that's where the Super Bowl party is. So I want the Commanders to win. They're like my sympathy pick, but I know they're not going to. It's right at the rate they're going. But I wanted to make sure I got a shirt for it just in case. But I couldn't commit to it. So it's the Commanders colors, but it says "Go Football Team."
Oh, I thought that was the Chiefs colors because it was
Commanders.
Oh man. Well, I guess that's not going to happen for you on the command. Well, at least it's
No,
funny.
sir.
That's
okay.
funnier. That's
okay.
funny.
I'm at a swinger party house. I won't be wearing the shirt very long.
Oh, okay,
Woo.
everybody. That's all the entertainment you get tonight. Thank you for the 17, 18 people that keep on coming in and out. Thank you guys for watching us today. Thank you for being a part of it. Thank you for everybody that made comments. Jason, Topher, Wrestler, Umbra. Thank you guys. You guys have a good day. Find us at any one of the from our Instagram, Spotify. Make sure to like, make sure to listen, make sure to notifications, all the above. Get us a W2EM net, all the above. Thank you. Have a good